Welcome back to Suburban Jessup. It's January 12th. We did one video this morning on how to do a plain basic leaf. So now we're going to do one on how to do a folded leaf. There's the folded leaf if you can see it. There it is right there. Got life to it. It's got a crease down the center. So just like we did the regular leaf in the video before this one, we start with 3/4 square stop. The folded leaf starts basically the same as the regular leaf, the basic leaf. So we're going to bring it up to a good orangish yellow heat. We're going to taper it, just like we did before. About a 3/4 inch taper. I used to go real short with the tapers, because that's what I was taught. And when I went real short with the tapers, I didn't get much of a point on the end of the leaf. It just kind of turned around on me. So I started leaving about a 3/4 taper, and I got a lot better leaf out of it. Bring it out of the fire, bring it to the far side of the anvil, put it 90 degrees. And there you are, there's the taper. Just as in the other video, like I said, that's about a 20-degree angle, maybe not quite, maybe a little more. Whatever you feel comfortable with. About a 20-degree angle. Back and forth, 90 degrees. Now when we bring it out this time, just like before, we're going to go about 3/4 to 1 inch past the end of that taper, where we stop tapering that, and we're going to put it half on the anvil, half off, and we're going to hit it with the hammer, half on the anvil, half off, and create a step. And we're going to turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to hit it again and create that step. Then we're going to go back and forth, and as we go back and forth, we're going to make sure to pull back a little bit so we stay in that step, up against that leaf, the body of that leaf. So I don't measure, I just go by sight. About 3 blows. Then I turn it 90 degrees, get it lined up again. About 3 blows. Then I go back. Actually, I pull back, make sure I'm on that step. Pull back. And I only want to go about half the width of that piece. If you go too thin at this point, when you're finishing your leaf off, flattening it out, shaping your leaf, veining, you know, all that, especially if you're doing a folded leaf, you'll have a tendency to break it off there if you're not careful. So only want to go about half. And there it is. Now when we bring it out this time, we're going to put it on the diamond, which, as I explained earlier, this is flat. This is on the diamond. We want that corner facing straight up. That makes it so that we're already getting a spread on that leaf. So up on the diamond, just like that. And we're going to flatten it out. Going to go down to about, oh, I don't know, we'll call it an 1/8 inch. If you'll notice at this point, it's not very wide at this point. So we're going to do just like we did on the last one. We're going to take the peen of our hammer. We're going to pull this way, and we're going to pull that way, and we're going to pull out the cheeks, I guess you call it, on that leaf. So we're going to come out of here, like I said, we're going to pull from this side, pull that out, and we're going to push that side. Try to keep around. Now here's where we change. Okay? On the other leaf we left a ridge down that center. We're not going to do that this time. This leaf is going to be flat. So we're going to heat that back up because while I was talking it got cold. But we're going to pull that both directions, and we're not going to leave a ridge down the center this time. That's the first difference that we're going to have between this leaf, the folded leaf, and the basic leaf. We're going to come up here still with the pin. We're pulling that out. We're pushing that on the other side. We're hammering in the middle. And here's what we have. And get it over here where you can see it. There's what we have. Now you can see those hammer marks from the ping. So what we're going to do now, and this may seem a little redundant, but we're going to heat it up. We're going to take those hammer marks out. And we're going to just flatten. So we're going to put a ridge down it. We're going to flatten it out. There it is, flattened out. You've got the hammer marks out of it. Now back to that redundant mark I made earlier. The reason this is going to get redundant is if you look at this one, the veins aren't put in there with a chisel. They're not chiseled in, they're textured. Right there. And what I use to texture those with is I use an old welder's chipping hammer. One peen is straight peen, one peen is cross peen. I've got 2 or 3 of these, and each one has a different radius on both sides. But that's what I use to put that texture in with. So that's what we're going to do next. Again, I do this in a good orange heat. And I do it like a feather, or like a leaf or a feather. I come down, I angle them down toward the center. From the tip of the leaf, I angle them down. So I come up here, you can see that, and I try to. Now the nice thing about using a welder's chipping hammer is now after I do that, I turn it this way, and I can do the other side. So I don't have to change the position of anything. And I get the texture. I look at my texture and make sure I got complete texture that I want. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that texture or not, but I'm happy with it. Let's go up here. There's our texture. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to heat it up a little bit, and I'm going to put one chiseled line down the center of that leaf from the tip down to the base of the stem. Okay? One chisel line, and I'm going to use that for a reference. As in the other video, My chisel that I'm going to use is kind of a canoe shape. It's not real sharp, it's kind of rounded, but then it's not real round. It's all a matter of taste. So we come up here, make sure it's flat on the handle, pull back a little bit, start in the center, and we walk it down, we don't lift, try not to lift it up, we walk it right down the center. We want that to be in the center of that leaf. And that's our reference point. That's our reference point for our leaf, right there, for our fold. That's where we're going to fold our leaf. Before I heat this up, I don't know if you've made one of these yet, but all that is that's a piece of 2 by 2 by 1/4 inch angle iron with a bevel on it toward the front, welded to a hardy socket. That's one of the handiest tools you can have right there. One of the handiest hardy tools you can have. So I take that, and I'm going to heat that leaf up, and I'm going to set that leaf on there just like that, with that crease facing me, and then I'm going to drive that down with the chisel into the center of that V. That way I know that that chisel mark is in the center where I'm going to fold it. It's the best way I've found to do it. Okay, here we go. You set it there, so we find our crease. You don't have to be real fast with it. There's our start. We're going to heat that up and we're going to drive it down in there one more time. And I say drive. I guess I shouldn't say drive. We don't want to cut that leaf in half. We're just trying to push that into the bottom of that. We want the center of that leaf as close as we can to the center of that V. So when we go to finish folding that, the fold's in the center. You want your fold to be down the center of that leaf. This is the best way I've found to do it. So we're going to come up here again, we're going to find that crease. We're going to walk right down the center of that leaf. There we go. We've got it folded. Starting to fold, that's what we want. It's not round on the bottom now. If you look, it's more or less folded. This is our leaf, the way we've got it folded. Now we're going to take that, we're going to put it on its side, and then we're going to take, and all we're going to do is we're going to hammer about the bottom third. And as we hammer, we're going to pull it this way, kind of making a spine down the back of it. But we don't want to go past about a third, because if you go up in here and hammer that, you're going to get that flat and close that up, and you're going to have a hard time opening that back up later. So just hammer about a third of that. Don't go clear up in here to hammer. Hammer about a third of that. So we're going to lay this on the near side of the anvil. We're gently going to fold it over. Finish folding it. Like I said, we're going to try to stay off. Now we're going to hammer that bottom third. We're not quite in half, but we're not too bad. We're going to heat that up one more, and we're going to hammer that spine one more time. So we want to stay away from the open end of that the open end of that leaf, because if we hammer that too much, we're going to have a hard time opening that up. So we want to stay on the bottom third by that spine. So we want to come up here again, and I use the heel of my hammer at this point. And just hammer along that spine, all the way down to the base. There it is. It's not completely closed up, as you can see. So now we're going to heat it up, we're going to put it in the vise, and we're going to open it up. So you can use what you want to open these up. Screwdrivers work real good. But my personal tool, especially in the shop so I don't ruin my screwdrivers, is this is just a piece of 3/8 rod bent in a loop. And then I hammer basically a screwdriver edge on the bottom of it. Usually it's rounded, it's not a flat edge. And that way I've got some torque. Okay, I use the same piece, the same tool for when I'm opening up my basket twists and things to pry and get everything even. So it's a handy little tool. There's 2 or 3 hanging around in the shop at all times in different places. So if you don't have one, you ought to make you one. So we're going to come out here, we're going to put the spine of that in the vise, just the spine. Just barely grab it. So we're going to come in here with a little screwdriver tool. And we're going to start opening it up. It's going to cool off pretty quick. So if it takes you more than one heat, don't sweat it. You can see where we got it open just a little bit. Now, like I said earlier, if you go too thin with that stem, where you neck down, where you isolate the material between the bud of the leaf and the stem, if you go too thin on that at first, while you're doing this part of it, you're probably going to break it off. So you want to leave about half of your thickness of your stock on that stem until you get all this done. I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to cradle that this time. And we'll come in here and we'll shove that down in there just like that. And I'm going to open it up. I hope you can see that from where you're at. I'm just going to open that up. And once you start getting it opened up, we're not going to worry about how many heats it takes you either. I don't count heats. The only thing I can make in a hurry is scrap metal. I don't count heats. One more time I'm going to put it up there and cradle it. All I'm doing now is cradling it. I'm not really pinching the device, I'm just cradling it. And I'm opening it up a little bit more. Down here close to the bottom, with the tip, not the bottom, the tip. We've got to start it opened up pretty good. So we're going to heat it up again, and then we're going to come up here and we're going to put what we started at right here on the corner of the anvil. And we're going to drive down and we're going to open, we're not going to drive down really, we're going to tap that and we're going to open that up some more. So I bring that out, I set it on there, and I just tap it. And I bring it up here, and I open it up just a little bit. It's a matter of, I guess it's a matter of taste, I guess, as to how much you want to open that up. Now we're going to wire brush that real good. And I'm going to show it to you before we start. So there's our folded leaf. I think that looks so much better. See the texture on it? I think that looks so much better than just a veined leaf. It's got a rib down the center. The back of it has a rib. This has a crease down the center of it. To me, that just gives the leaf more life. It's a much better looking leaf. So we're going to draw that stem out just like we did before. We're not even going to bother with the horn. I'm going to use the corner of the anvil and the face of the hammer to draw that out with. So we do it square. We start here. 90 degrees. Right there on the edge of the anvil. We forward that down. Turn it back 90 degrees. We forward that down. Turn 90 degrees again. Forward that down. So look at where we're at. Bring it out again. We start again. Work it backward. Turn it 90 degrees. Work it back forward. When we're getting fairly close to where we want to be, we want to stop. Because we still have to make it round. So now we're going to take the hammer marks out, or divots from thorn. We got little divots now all along there. See if I can show you that. Got little divots there, all along there. I'm going to take those divots out. We're still on the square. I haven't started rounding it up yet. Taking those divots out, and we're trying to get us a nice, smooth tape. We don't want to let it get too cold because we don't want to get a cold shut right there. We do not want to do that. One more heat and cleaning the divots up, and then we're going to round that stock up and get the stem down. We're still square. We're just getting our divot marks out. Hanging off that leaf. So now, we're going to take and we're going to start knocking the corners off. We can round it up. We're losing our collar. We're going to put it back in. So we don't want to give it a cold shut now. We've got too much work in it. Don't let it get cold. Keep putting it back in the fire. No use getting in a hurry because all you're going to do is break it off and then you've wasted all your time. Corners off, so in theory I make it tight, so now I go and I knock the corners off again and I make it 16 sided. And at that point I just start rounding it up. So it's getting cold, so I'm going to quit it. Get that back in the fire. When I first bring it out, the first thing I'm going to work on this time is right there at the neck, where the stem meets the leaf. Because it'll cool down the quickest. So that's where I'm going to work first. So I'm going to round that up. So there it is, folded leaf. So the tip, you can bend it backwards, you can bend it forward. I kind of took it to the side that way, just give it a little more life. So that's ready to clean up. So that's how you forge a folded leaf, or how I do anyway, I should say. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. It's been a good day. Like I said earlier today, we shot a video on how to do a basic leaf. And this just follows the basic leaf to a certain point. But do yourself a favor, if you don't do a lot of leaf work, make a few of the basic leaves before you try a folded leaf. You'll find it a lot easier to do it that way. And you want to remember, don't get this stem too thin or it'll break. This one's almost too thin. So don't go too thin with your stem. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Like I said, if you like the video, like it and share it with your friends. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time in suburban Jessup, and hopefully it won't be snowing.